Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Premier Circuit Major number 2. My name is the Mattman, and alongside me once again, Mr. Zeb. We're having a great time out here, just been yapping in the back booth, but now it's time for action. Scout Regiment taking on Houston Spartans Academy, and we've got a banger here for you guys. Zeb, any early predictions before we get into what is going to be a very interesting 6-star hardpoint?
No, absolutely no predictions, to be honest, going into this one. I mean, all I can just say is that off the back of the last two games, which we've had the privilege of covering here on this broadcast, it has been really, really close. All the teams that we've been seeing have been giving great performances, been really entertaining to see. So if the trend keeps going, we have another incredibly entertaining game coming up right here.
And you're taking a look at your two rosters here between both these teams. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. We know how well the Houston Spartans main team has kind of accrued there in Challengers. It's going to be interesting to see now what their academy team can do here, especially in a LAN setting, and especially in a best of 3 6-star. Going to be the map 1 choice here, followed by Karachi, Search, and Destroy. And if we get there, a high-rise control. And Zep, no more exploding propane tank kills. We can't make jokes about it anymore. I'm upset.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly upset from an entertainment value, but I am sure that every single player who's had to go onto that map is over the moon. The gods have finally answered the prayers, and there's going to be no more of the map working against the players in vital moments. I mean, look, we could go into it, talk all day about it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if it was just a little more predictable as to who they would hit when it exploded, as to what radius, we'd be a little more maybe forgiving of a map playing its part within a game. But they've taken it out, they have patched it, and I'm sure all these teams are delighted. But obviously going into this map number 1, we're going into a 6-star. We did see a 6-star hardpoint at the beginning of this broadcast, and it was really fun to watch. Such a brilliant hardpoint map that was added in late on to this Call of Duty cycle. And what's incredibly entertaining about that is that you get to see teams still adjusting to maps and figuring out the best way to play them, still so late on into a Call of Duty cycle, instead of having set rotations nailed down. Truly is the beauty of what this map brings as we load into it now.
Yeah, and especially with the changes of the hills kind of really week to week. I mean, we've seen this map be changed already a couple of times, and a little bit of an update heading into Season 4 as well. And Houston Spartans Academy, though, looking like they're trying to make one of these maps here kind of set into their map pool, like you said, kind of late on in the season, but still a lot to play for, especially here at the Premier Circuit LAN. Trades going back and forth down here in the pit area. A couple of shots in. Mgangi's going to be able to find 2 here. So really, Houston Spartans Academy have broken this game wide open. It's the perfect start to a hard point that you'd want here. And already you clean out that top blue area. Yo-Yo's going to be able to make his way kind of close onto that P2. And right now, Zep, Houston Spartans Academy, they're going to be up 40, 50 points here heading into P2 and already starting to work some of these rotations.
Yeah, they played that first point really well. Just a situation of every time Scout Regiment got 1, they got 2, but then they got 3 leading into that P2 and have just broken it in one movement before the point was even fully formed. And Houston Spartans have started with some fantastic momentum here, but Scout Regiment trying to answer back. They pick up 2, get into the point, but are they going to be crowded out? It looks like it could be the case as another 3 kills comes in, and that point is taken right back. Houston Spartans have a really great setup so far.
Oh, I mean, just really cutting you down at every single angle. Already only 30 seconds left to work with on this hill, and barely any blue in the kill feed whatsoever. DOA is going to take 2 with them there, trying to hit these rotations as well. Now flip the spawns out for Old, and you're going to be able to do some work here now as the Houston Spartans Academy. You look at where DOA is all the way over towards that P3. Mac already starting to work his way through the DJ booth as well, and these rotations perfect from the Houston Spartans. You could see them go up over the 100-point threshold here, not even through a full 3 hard points.
Yeah, I mean, their performance has just been nigh on perfect. I mean, look, you have Yo-Yo at 1 and 4, but maybe they just haven't even had the opportunity for a clean kill because of just how much work everyone else on the team has been giving so far. I mean, look, Scout Regiment, they've got a good setup here at the moment, and this is where we're really going to see what they can give. If they are broken quickly, then they are in massive trouble for the rest of this map and this series, as Recipe desperately tries to escape to the back, but there is no joy as Houston Spartans got completely around the point, enveloped the spawn, and because of that have complete control of this P3 and can keep Scout Regiment pushed back. This is an annihilation so far.
I mean, it's complete and utter dominance, right? I mean, we finally see a 3-piece there from Scout Regiment to be able to get some of that scrap time off the P3. It stops the bleeding here for a little bit, Zep, but the problem for them is, it's like you said, they've dug themselves in such a deep hole, only 3 hard points in. It really creates a problem here for the rest of this map, as now they're going to be playing on the back foot at every single turn. Gengi's 8-3 and already having a great start to this one, and you see this new P4 back onto the statue side, no more kind of over by the pool point, as Mac here going to be able to try to find the kills here. Not going to find the first one. Couple of trades go either way. Yo-Yo gets the 1-for-1 though. Scout Regiment still on this hill. It's been a perfect open break for them to finally find some time, but you still have to deal with these players from Houston funneling in through the side. Nades and stuns, everything over the top side. Gonna be able to find one. Gengi finds another there. It's a clean 4 dead in the feed. Yeah, absolutely wipe house there on P4. You start to push up into the spawn. Couple of more kills go your way, and already the Houston Spartans have absolutely started to run away with this one. Almost a 100-point lead here on P4. They're already up over almost the 150-point mark. It has been nothing but perfection from the side of the Spartans.
Yeah, and I was about to credit Scout Regiment there on that P4 for being able to stay alive a little bit longer. You know, it seemed like that was going to be the key for them, just if they got engaged in a gunfight and they got weak, to make sure they get their head down and not be getting taken out. But eventually the 4-man down came for Houston Spartans, who were able to run through and get themselves completely set up. And, you know, now back to that first point, Scout Regiment, they, even in moments where they get rotated, they still almost feel like they're chasing the game, because it feels like just a matter of time for when that 2, 3, or 4 will come in, as there's a 3 there. Will they make it 4? Absolutely. With Mac going massive on a 4 streak, 15 and 7. You would like to say maybe the star player, but there's 3 other players on the side of Houston who you could argue are star players, as they are running away with this game. 100 points in the clear. 25 seconds left to go on this point, and Scout Regiment do not look like they have any way of getting back into this map.
I mean, there's just nothing that they can do, right? I mean, Mac's already working on that cruise missile, 1 off of it now. You're starting to see a couple of kills come through for Scout Regiment, but look at where they're spawning now, trying to get on the back foot here, heading into P2. Mac picks up the cruise missile, he slides, almost gets another one there, but cut down as DOA is going to find Aspect. Now Veer trying to find the chow onto DOA. I think he's been spotted here. They'll know exactly where he's coming from. And Houston Spartans, they're not even considering the getting on the point right now. They are looking for kills. 3 dead in the feed once again. Recipe the last man up, but still with 45 seconds left to do some deep work here on this hill. Houston Spartans Academy surely in the clear. I mean, Zep, at this point, Scout Regiment is going to have one of the best comebacks in Call of Duty history.
Yeah, well, I think Scout Regiment now, they can't be thinking of making that dream comeback. They just got to be trying to stifle the momentum of a little bit of Houston Spartans. Getting a couple of kills, getting over that 100-point threshold, having moments where they look good, and kind of just making Houston Spartans bleed a bit at times, proving that they are in fact human and can be beaten, and setting themselves up to go into the rest of this series with a platform to build off of. Because if they just don't get a single point after this and they go on to the next point and Houston Spartans just completely mow them down, they're going to have such a momentum run to take into the next map where we could see this best of 3 series done 2-0. It could be an absolute whitewash. So Scout Regiment, they just got to think ahead, and they got to play this smart and not let the heads drop. Well, I mean, you still just have to give so much credit to Houston Spartans, the way that they were playing, because even on that P2 when they were on it, they were pushed out, they were aggressive, but they did not for a second cross that threshold where it could have maybe resulted in a spawn flip or split spawns to make it more difficult for them on the hill. They played aggressive, but they still played controlled, and doing the same again here on this point. These are a well-drilled side.
I mean, yeah, it's exactly what you say, calculated aggression, and look at the read on the spawns. Gengi immediately turning the heads there, looking to the backside. The call-outs and the comms from the Houston Spartans have to be so clean right now, as they are continuing to find kills all around the map and continuing to find success in every single hard point here. You still have the scrap time right now being garnered by Mac. He's just doing work on this old hill. Finally, they'll be able to take him down and get a few seconds off of this, but trades heading either which way as we now head into this statue point with Houston Spartans already up 236 to 86. The cruise missile now going to be invested just to clear the hill off. You know exactly where these players are. Mac 2-for-2 trade gonna happen there, and Scout Regiment will be able to clean up the existing players here, so they will be able to potentially get themselves over that 100-point mark, but still, for Houston Spartans, it's one break, you're into this hill, and you have the game, and it might be right here. Trophies in place, a little bit of a 2-2 split here happening as they try to set up the pinch. Now, Max gonna get a team kill in there, not gonna really help your chances, but everybody will fall at the hands of the Houston Spartans. One man up, one man down, and that should be the last 7 seconds here in the back pocket. A couple of more kills off the rotations just for funsies. You gotta get on the hill to end this though. Veer, last man up, will be dealt with. 250 to 109, and that is an absolute dominating performance to open up your pool play if you are Houston Spartans Academy.
Yeah, absolutely. What a performance from them. I mean, if you're looking for an MVP, should I say, for the side, I mean, really take your pick. You've had 3 out of the 4, potentially 4, with how the numbers were pulled back by Yo-Yo, just across the board, playing some fantastic Call of Duty. And I mean, Scout Regiment pulled it back, credit to them, but we realistically know all of that was either from super early rotation time or from super late scrap time. None of it came from real map dominance, winning a hill at any point, kind of coming through adversity and getting the reward from it. It was all just little scraps here and there, which, credit to them, they were getting so badly beaten at a point that that's what they had to focus on, so you can't knock them for that at all. But they did just set themselves up for failure early on because they got so trounced so early. They could only really play for damage control loading into this map number 2. But maybe they'll be able to change it. Karachi Search and Destroy, the epiphany of a different type of map mode from a 6-star hardpoint. So they have the opportunity to switch things up here a little bit and try and make a game work more in their favor. But man, there was such a gap in performance in that map number 1 that I really question how they'll be able to bring it to the table for the rest of this series.
I mean, and it was just the calculated aggression from the Houston Spartans, right? You touched on it a little bit there, kind of in the later half of that hard point, but they were never being too over-aggressive with their chows. Every time they pushed forward, they were doing it as a team. They were doing it either to flip spawns out or get them spawns for new, and just really manipulating the map at every single turn. It just made the gunfights easy. I mean, you're just running into every single tunnel that they think you're going to come through there, just from the way of forcing them. And you talked about how it was only really late scrap time or early rotation time for Scout Regiment. A lot of times when there would be 20-15 seconds left on a hill, Houston would intentionally flip themselves out and give them the spawns for that hill just to hit their rotations. It was perfect fundamental hard point and a 250 to 109 start. I mean, Zeb, you talk about the different switch up in the map and mode, but I mean, if Houston Spartans can play that tactically in a hard point with the aggression heading into an S&D, this might be an even more dominating performance from them.
Yeah, exactly, because I mean they seem to have it in all areas, right? I mean, they had the gun skill and they had that tactical prowess, and they knew where and when to be aggressive, right? So Karachi's the perfect example of being able to utilize that. If you just get to your vantage points early on, either win your initial gunfights or make them pull off by making them weak, then all of a sudden you have top red control, you have top third control, and the opposition side has nowhere to move. So if Houston Spartans Academy can utilize that and as we talked about before, controlled aggression, just be aggressive in the right areas, then they're just going to be able to dominate this map throughout the entirety of this map. The only way that Scout Regiment will be able to change that is by getting picks here and there. But I think that's where they have to look at how Houston Spartans play this map. They're going to have to go in, try one thing. If it doesn't work after a round, try something else. They cannot afford to stick to their game plan and go 3-0 down, because by the time that they might have the answer to how Houston Spartans will play, it might be too late by then. So they need to go in, be prepared to shake it up, and then when they find something that works, at least stick to it for a while and make Houston be the ones to have to alter their game.
Yeah, you have to hit those mid-round adjustments, especially when you're going up a team that, like you said, has that kind of tactical prowess in the Houston Spartans. We've already seen how good that they can be in a hardpoint setting, and a lot of that wasn't them running at them and doing every gun chow that they wanted. They were taking the gun chows that they knew they would win, and that's the thing where you talked about those vantage points. I'm looking the Scout Regiment to take those vantage points early, especially on the defensive side. Make sure that you're in those good positional setups to deal with the pushes that Houston's going to throw at you, because we know that Houston likes to play a little bit aggressive, and that's something that also, as you pointed out on Karachi, can be a deal breaker if you're on the wrong side of it. And I think for Houston, it's really just about keeping that foot down on the gas pedal, man. You're doing everything right. There's no reason to change it up whatsoever, and it's like you said, it's up to now Scout Regiment to put the pressure back on Houston and make them start to think about what gameplay they need to switch up. But I mean, if they come out and, like you said, Houston Spartans gets that that 2-0, 3-0 lead here early, I mean, we could just be looking at a swift 2-0 and we're headed right into the next series.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the ball is in Scout Regiment's court to play with. They need to go in, they need to make changes, they need to pose the questions. And so far, you know, Houston Spartans again already kind of set up on those power angles, and Scout Regiment are going to be trying to find their way into A, but Mac is already back there and they already have the idea. It feels like Houston Spartans have gotten the information early as DOA, dead on arrival, puts 2 of those players on the side of Scout Regiment in the ground, and a little answer back as Genki gets taken out, but already a great start.
I mean, you talk about the aggression. 2 of the Houston Spartans players just run directly down the B street, up over the wall, clear out Coop immediately, and there the info is in you. If no one's back Coop, they're most likely heading towards the A site. The pinch was on from the Spartans. They're able to get 2 for 1, and now it's the numbers game that they're just going to try to play for the rest of this. DOA now with a third in the round, going to be working on the ace here. Vier's the only one left here. 23 seconds left. He's got to find a way to get the bomb planted and get these players out of here, may be able to retrieve the bomb for now, but neither of these sites is what you'd like to call clear, as Yo-Yo sitting on the A site, DOA in this top 3rd position, just looking for the angle. The ace is in, and Houston Spartans Academy running through Scout Regiment and DOA. I mean, come on, ace round 1 to open things up in a closeout best of 3. I wish my MCW hit like that.
Yeah, what a round from DOA, hitting that ace, running about the place, just completely dominating on that round. And I mean, look, Houston Spartans Academy, they had great map control anyway, but then DOA was just going around getting the picks, and I believe got a 2-piece at the very beginning. So it wasn't just a round of 1-by-1s. DOA pulled out the gunny in multiple instances there to make that happen, and now Houston Spartans have the advantage once again. But will Scout Regiment be able to answer back? The defense could maybe prove slightly easier for them, but again, you look at the confidence of Houston here, already working their way over towards B, holding those high points in mid-map. They're pretty confident with the way they're sitting. Meanwhile, Genki just making sure that that A flank isn't coming through. A 2-2 split from Scout Regiment. They're playing it standard, just trying to absorb as much information as they can as to how Houston Spartans want to go about playing this map. I think it's the right defensive play so far from them.
Yeah, I mean, patient after the first blood, just looking to work off of it, and now you're seeing Houston Spartans kind of be a little forced into a corner here. The bomb's still kind of in the mid area around this top church, still trying to decide what you want to do with it here. Scout Regiment, I mean, they are just refusing to move right now, just making sure that they check corners. You get the drop on the Genki, now you have the 4v2 advantage. Scout Regiment surely looking to put this round in the back pocket. Yo-Yo makes a little bit too much noise, gets sat down with the bomb, and now it's going to be DOA. He's already had 1 ace. Can he find another? I'd be very, very shocked. 16 seconds left. Bomb not in the hands. Might as well just try to play the streaks here. He only needs 1 kill for the cruise missile, so as this will get tied up at 1 apiece. You gotta have a feeling, though, if DOA can get that cruise missile secured in the back pocket, look to use it towards one of these later rounds, could be up big. But something to mention as well, I mean, for the Houston Spartans, it is DOA that is the only one that has a kill right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's something definitely worth looking at as well. Maybe he's the only player that's really feeling the gun skill at the moment on Search and Destroy. I mean, look, I doubt it considering how they were playing in that other map 1, but we're giving Scout Regiment as much opportunities and chances as we can here. And, you know, giving massive credit to them as well. They play that defensive round really well. You mentioned it during the round. They were playing patient, and patience was key in that round, getting those picks and running down that clock. But then, as you also said, DOA on that streak, and getting a cruise on this map could create a lot of danger. It means towards the end rounds, you know that the Scout Regiment has to be funneled towards A, so it gives you more of an idea of the chances of where they're going to hit. So I think DOA will definitely be playing for that in this round, as it's a massive first blood for Yo-Yo, getting aggressive, and Scout Regiment already a player behind, kind of floundering at B with Recipe as well, kind of back Coop, and nothing really set up for them at all here.
No, just the 1-for-1 trade that goes around, and Genki's on the chase. He knows that Virus here is going to be able to find the kill, and now all on to Recipe. He does have the bomb in hand, but in the 1v3, this is going to be a very difficult situation for him, as Yo-Yo is continuously played up in this top position. If he peeks over, he's going to see Recipe running right through to A, but he will get out with his life. Timing works out for him, at least for now. 27 seconds left. Speaking of the time, this is going to start to become a very difficult situation, as it already is. Bomb trying to make its way somewhere. Just checking every angle here. Recipe seeing nothing but ghost right now. He's only got 13 seconds left. He's got to find a way to get this bomb planted. Gengi's just continuously checked this site. He's seen nothing. Recipe may be able to get this bomb down off the timing, but now, I mean, he doesn't even have enough time to plant, and that's going to be the round. A little bit just too patient there. Out of the side of Cigar. He's just going to keep typing away, isn't he? He's going to get that bomb planted one day. He'll get it planted one day.
Eventually it will go down, but unfortunately for him, not in this round, as Houston Spartans take another round for themselves. And very patient from both of these teams, the way that they're playing. Not much aggression really coming in when it comes to the later rounds. Of course, they're trying to get up as fast as they can to the strongest vantage points that they can, but once it's kind of set, the rounds really do seem to slow down between both of these teams, as they're both still giving each other a lot of respect at this point, knowing what they could bring to the table. They're playing this game smart, and DOA still on for that cruise, as well as this plant is going in, but the trophy arguably saving the planter there, as Yo-Yo gets that bomb down. And now 4v4 with 40 seconds on the clock for Scout Regiment. A really tough ask here to break in with the time that's left, especially, and look how stagnant they are in the mid-map. Look at Recipe and Lost Aspect. 30 seconds left and there's no movement in the mid.
And I think they were just a little bit caught off guard. I mean, Houston Spartans do the perfect rush play onto B. They throw the smoke down, they throw the trophy down, they get the bomb planted immediately. Scout Regiment threw a lot of pressure over towards that A site. They guessed wrong, but now you find a couple of kills, but only 14 seconds. And that staggeredness that you've seen earlier may come back to bite them now, as you've got to hop on this bomb. Only 9 seconds left. Too many players to deal with here, and Houston Spartans going to run away with another round. Late 1v1, maybe DOA just going to play it a little bit further. He's already got the cruise missile in the back pocket, but the round, more importantly, now up 3-1 for Houston Spartans. And Zep, it was exactly what you called. I mean, just too slow and not enough reactiveness there once the bomb gets planted.
Yeah, and you have to give massive credit to Houston Spartans as well. I feel like they were playing that round into such a way where they were trying to get DOA to get that streak as well. Once they had that bomb planted, the way DOA was playing there was to make sure just to play a trade, play it off the back of a teammate maybe going down. So to get a round that puts them 2 rounds ahead and a streak in the bag that could very much count for another round. So Scout Regiment very quickly finding themselves falling behind here and need to make some alterations. Lost Aspect needs to get on the scoreboard, and they need to get an offensive round going for them, Scout Regiment, because they haven't had too much success on the offense here. But again, looking at the side of Houston Spartans, they've only had one player really popping off in DOA, and he has a streak now, so he may calm down. Can't keep it up for every single round. But again, going a player down now while you're trying to move on that offense, and they have the information. They know you're over at A. You get penned in Junkyard really quickly. Now 2v4 this round. They're getting dismantled again.
It's DOA, though. Every single time on the defensive round, he just runs straight up the B street, right into Coop, and immediately gets on the wrap. And every time Scout Regiment wants to go towards the A site, DOA's right behind him before they can even get through back red. He's found another kill with the MCW back, and now it's all on to Veer. 1v3, the bomb's trapped in your spawn. Veer saying, hey, guys, I wrapped all the way around, and oh, everyone's dead. Okay, 28 seconds left. Gotta find a way to get this bomb planted. Veer just checking every single corner. He's seen all of his teammates fall in this back junkyard area, but no one home now for the Spartans, and nothing Veer can do. The timing not even gonna work there, but he will find the kill onto Yo-Yo. Awkward gunfight goes his way, but 9 seconds to get the bomb planted. Houston Spartans will take another round on the board. They're already up 1-0 here in the best of 3, and now Zep firmly taking a hold on this map too.
Yeah, they're just slowly but surely enveloping the side of Scout Regiment. It seems like it's not even like an annihilation where they're going in aggressive and wiping them out. They're just taking these rounds. They're just slowly weaving their way up the map, getting that control, pinning them into a corner and picking them off one by one, just really sapping any momentum that Scout Regiment could pick up. Like, even if they get a kill, it still feels like they're just lashing out from the pen, and where they're still pushed back. And if anything, getting that kill gives Houston Spartans too much information to work with when it comes to knowing of where the team is set up. They just cannot seem to get a break, get out, and get some solid control of the map at any point. And Houston Spartans are looking comfortable here as they get another first blood.
And they use the cruise missile as well to open up the B street. It's the smoke trophy down on the B site. Early bomb plant once again. Recipe. That nade's not going to work, brother. They already tried it once. Now a couple of nades come in as that trophy system does get dealt with, but still, you're going to have to look to Scout Regiment to be a little bit aggressive here. You have to find the retake. You don't want to get the time back on Houston Spartan's side, and already under 30 seconds. You do have DOA that goes down. That's a great play there from Veer to get around in the back coop side. Mac now, he's just running around this top 30, knows that there's players around him, but he can't tell where. Awkward gunfight's gonna come in now. Yo-Yo a little bit trapped back there. Now you gotta hop the defuse. 14 seconds left. Could be a huge play. Does not come through. Now you gotta get back on the bomb, but Yo-Yo and Mac gonna be able to find two. Only one player left. Not enough time, and they'll get the kill just for the fun. Houston Spartans up 5-1, and even when things look a little mixy, they look a little shaky, they play just so tactically well here, and especially in S&D, the slowdown has done nothing but help them here, and looking just as dominant as they did in that map 1 hardpoint, now 1 round away from not only taking this map, but taking this series.
Yeah, ultimately, Scout Regiment, they just really struggled towards the end there. The time was running down. They had to take that risk in going for the defuse. It was a good play, a nice risky play, but unfortunately it just didn't work out for them. And, you know, when you're falling behind in a game like this, you just have to hope that a play like that works out for you to give you that edge, but
here he goes.
Happen.
He's doing it again. DOA every time, right up the B street, up off the walls like he's playing Assassin's Creed, and look at him. He knows one's back there. I mean, this is insane. Houston Spartans Academy just wiped the floor 6-1, 250 to 109, and one of the quickest 2-0s you will ever see. DOA, your MVP of the S&D. I mean, that is absolutely insane. 9-2, the jump shots to end it off. And I mean, Zep, every single time on the defensive side, he runs right up B Street. He just starts climbing up the walls like he's Spider-Man, and then he just starts laying people out in your spot.
Yeah, and I mean, non-traded kills as well as 8. I mean, honest to God, I know his name is DOA. Needs to change that to YDOA, you know, lengthen it out a bit more. Have it stand for You're Dead on Arrival, because as soon as he gets into position, you are done for. And every single round, as you pointed out, the crucial mistake that was made is that they let DOA get into the exact position that he wanted to be in to either gain some control or get some kills. And guess what? He was able to do both from that position. An expert play from him, the MVP of this series for sure, and you just got, or this map for sure. I just got to say, you know, congratulations to Houston Spartans Academy. Commiserations to Scout Regiment, because they did come in, they did give it a go, but they never really got into this series. They were just constantly chasing in moments from that 6-star hard point, really only getting 100 points off scrap or early rotations, and then managing to sneak a well-disciplined defensive round early doors of that S&D, but never for a moment looking like they could turn the tides of what seemed to be the constant waves of Houston Spartans just plowing through them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the series could have been decided right there on that P3, right? When we were talking about if the Houston Spartans are able to get a good hold on this, push themselves over the 100-point threshold, only 3 hard points in, they were going to be playing on the back foot. And you even said, not just in that map, but in the series as a whole. And that's exactly what it felt like, is just they were always behind, they were always chasing the game, and just never really getting settled down here in this series. And I think even from the first round of the S&D, where DOA hits the play that he was going to end up doing 4 more times throughout that S&D. He goes straight up over the wall. He's in back junk. He's able to hit the 2-piece in the back, and he ends up finding an ace. And if that's not a tone setter in an S&D, when you have one of your teammates that just pops off for an ace, I mean, you just feel it in that camp that the comms had to be clean, collected every single step of the way, and it showed in their play style, right? I mean, every single time they were putting themselves in tradable positions, they were making sure that they were hitting those mid-round adjustments. And we talked about the ball being in the court for Scout Regiment. It was going to be up to them to kind of change some things up, be moldable, and they're just not enough mid-round adjustments. And when you can't stop the same play that happens 3 times in a row, I mean, it's like you said, if it's working, don't stop. I mean, why would he stop if he's going and getting 2-3 kills every single time?
Yeah, I mean, exactly, hitting the nail on the head. If the play works, don't stop it. The adjustments were not coming in. We said that Scout Regiment were going to have to adjust from moment to moment and make Houston Spartans adjust, but not for a moment did they have to tailor the way that they were playing whatsoever. They played their game. It was working for them. They kept playing their game, and there was nothing that Scout Regiment seemed to be able to do about it.
Yeah, an absolutely flawless performance from the Houston Spartans Academy. Going to be a dangerous team heading on throughout pool play, and really this entire weekend it's going to be exciting to see what they can do. But we will get the next series set up for you guys, and we have a lot more of some highly talented COD action coming at you, so don't go anywhere here at the Premier Circuit Major 2.